JJ, it's your turn for some focus right now, young man. You are a pretty incredible turnaround story. JJ, you're an 8th grader in the Legend family. Your disciplinary problems in grades 6 and 7 existed. Your grades were not where they needed to be. And right now, you're not getting sent to OCS nearly as much as you were previously, and you're above a 3.0, JJ. How do I clone you? What I mean by that is, what has gone into your turnaround? What has helped you do what you've done, young man?
Well, first week of school, I was doing good, and then our progress reports came out, and I had all A's, and then I looked at it and it felt good. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to make myself, I want to feel good all the time. So I just kept trying to keep on that roll. And then progress on the report card came out, and I had a 3.3. I was like, oh yeah. So then my next report card just came out, and I had the same thing. So just trying to keep on that roll, just trying to keep consistent, just trying to keep doing what we're doing.
Okay, April, could you please tell me how important was this for the teachers, the students, and the parents to come together and have a discussion about how to solve the suspension problem?
I think it was extraordinarily important that we have all of these people within our community to support our children in this conversation. Any conversation with the school about what's happening for African American young people that does not include community and parents and teachers is a mute conversation. I think a key part of this is the ongoing conversation of how to implement strategies and build capacity in this school system to really address bias, institutional racism, and the impact of poverty in our community on this school needs to be ongoing and with parents and teachers and other folks who are concerned about this school, not just 4 times a year at the Black Family Summit, but we need to have a parent advisory committee that this staff, the Oakland Unified School District, AAMA, whoever, is constantly checking in with so that we can all partner to support successful students in this school.
But he's popular, and people like him, and girls like him, and he can get away with a lot of stuff. And so I'm dealing with trying to influence him to be different in the classroom, but the payoff socially, you were speaking to this earlier, or whatever the payoff is, I don't know how somebody tell me how you do it. I mean, how do you, he respects me, and if I'm in the room, he's going to respect that person. But how do I get him to behave the way that I want him to behave at school when I'm not at school with him? I have followed him to school. I have dropped in at school. There's something else that is a greater payoff. When we went through these questions at the table, and I asked him, what do you think is needed? And he said an incentive that is not about something that's so long-term or so far away. Something as simple as Miss L gives cookies if you've had a great day. And I'm conflicted about that. On one hand, I'm like, this is so simple, give the doggone cookies. On the other hand, I'm like, my kid can be bought for cookies?
So we're here together today for African American Family Summit to really bring all the stakeholders of the school together, the students, the parents, the teachers, administrators, and community members, and really making sure that we have action steps.
How far do you extend yourself, or how much do you try to pursue, still trying to help them, when you're not really getting a proper response you want from a teacher, from a parent? How do you do that? How far do you go? I know you're a teacher and you're educated, and your job is to educate, but there's a compassion factor, there's a sensitivity factor, putting yourself in their position factor, all of these other things. So how does that dynamic unfold? Because you guys are underpaid and underappreciated. They say that some of the disconnect in the suspension is coming between African American males and white teachers, white women teachers. What do you think is causing that disconnect?
I would say that I think when you're particularly teaching in urban schools, I think that there is a cultural piece that's really important, and developing that in teachers and helping teachers and students finding a way and a place where they can meet in the middle and they can communicate and understand each other is really important. And so I do think there is a disconnect there.
How important is it for teachers and parents and students to get together and talk about things like suspension in school?
I think it's important because, like, if we don't talk about it, then it won't get fixed.
Did you learn anything tonight?
Yeah.
What did you learn tonight?
That, like, when you really try, good things can happen.